to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another Manchester United live evening show on the channel, discussing all the latest Manchester United news, rumours and topics that have been going around in the last 24 hours, as well as doing a little bit of a match preview to Manchester United versus Watford. So what are we going to be talking about in today's video? What are the main topics for discussion? Reports coming out that Manchester United have decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Could this be his last game or not? Who could the replacement be? We'll obviously be discussing all of that, but I know you guys are probably bored of the Zidane, Rodgers, OLE out news because it's dragged on throughout the whole window, and it's very clear that the manager for the game tomorrow will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but will it be his last game? What's the news been said? We will be discussing that. Van de Beek, according to the Athletic, is in contention to start for the Watford game, and he better freaking start. Oh my God, if I see MCFRED on the team sheet, guys, I think I'm going to lose it, because Fred played, over 90 minutes on bloody Wednesday, and he's had to get a flight from South America. McTominay missed the international break with illness. They've been shocking in their last two games. If Donny van Beek is not on that team sheet, it's an absolute disgrace. And someone said this in one of my live chats. They said, no, in Ollie, we'll still see MCFRED, and he'll drop Sancho and play Donny van de Beek as a winger out of position. But we'll be talking about that. Ollie holding crisis talks as well. Ollie having talks with Maguire and out of the squad. Ronaldo being reportedly unhappy. Ronaldo frustrated. Ronaldo angry. There's news about that. There's news about Jesse Lingard. He wants out. I mean, don't blame Lingard. Don't blame Donny for wanting out. Don't blame any of these players for wanting out right now, because the club is absolute shambles. Rumours about FRENKIE de Jong to Manchester United as well, which is a really, really interesting one. And much, much more. So make sure you smash a like on the video if you have not already. And please do make sure you go and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you are new to the channel. We are 3 subscribers away from 23.5k. So anyone watching that's not subscribed, might as well subscribe, as it means a lot. The goal is to hit 25,000 subscribers by Christmas, which is a bit of an ambitious goal. That's 1 month to get 1.5k. But I believe in you guys that you can go subscribe and do that. So get your live chats in as well. Zidane is learning English. Yes, he's learning English so he can reject United. And still believe the board will drag on this Ollie for as long as possible. If we go on a run in December with a lot of winnable matches, they will hang on to him. Unfortunately, I do agree. I agree that the board will try and hang on to Ollie for as long as possible because he's a yes man. But I do know and I do believe Ollie won't be here by Christmas, because I cannot see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer turning it around. Because even if Donny does start versus Watford, who's going to start versus Arsenal, Chelsea and Villarreal? MCFRED. What do we see from MCFRED versus Manchester City? Absolute shite. What do we see from MCFRED versus Liverpool? Absolute shite. What do I expect to see from them? Absolute shite. No difference. I think he'll be gone by Christmas. And there's reports that I will discuss in a sec. Apparently, we've reportedly already decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Solskjaer is suffering a slow death by thousands of cuts. End this torture and discharge him this week. Watching Manchester United play and watching us play under Solskjaer, it's not like you've been shot in the head and it's like that. It's a slow, painful death. It's like being buried alive. It's just like being left there. I mean, it is painful, and it's got to get worse for it to get better. That's the frustrating thing. We've got to lose another game for Ollie to go. And people were saying, surely if you lose to Man City, he's gone. Surely, he lost 5-0 to Liverpool, he's gone. We lost 4-2 to Leicester, he's not gone. Like, how many more games do we have to lose for him to be gone? I think that is the question. And that's what I'm really going to be talking about, because that's obviously what some of the reports have got into. And I think that's the main and most interesting talking point. Andrew says if we lose to Villarreal, which is very possible, and Atalanta, these young boys, we don't end up in Europa. Many are talking about this like we are already qualified. Exactly, we might not qualify for the Champions League again. And you look at our group last year, and I thought not qualifying last year was a disgrace because we won our first 2 games, and the only reason we didn't qualify is because we lost to Istanbul Başakşehir. But I looked at our group last year, and they had a Nagelsmann Leipzig team and PSG in it. This year, if we don't qualify, it is an absolute disgrace. Like last year, I said, to be fair to Ollie, he's got the hardest group. Not many people expected us to qualify last year, and I wasn't losing my shit about not qualifying last year. I just think the performance that we went against Leipzig was atrocious, and it was more about performance. This year, if we don't qualify for the Champions League, is an absolute disgrace. And Andrew makes a really good comment here. You know, we were lucky to beat Villarreal. We have not played well against Villarreal. Unai Emery is clearly more tactically intelligent than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and clearly knows a lot more than Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tactically. So if we do not qualify for the Champions League, it's an absolute disgrace. It's an absolute embarrassment, and he would have to be sacked off that. And that's the thing. We're saying, how bad is it going to be for Ole to be sacked? How bad are we going to get for Ole to be sacked? And I go, well, you know, if he doesn't qualify for the Champions League out of this group, maybe that's what gets him sacked. You know, we're not winning the Premier League. So if we don't get out of our group, that's 2 major trophies over before halfway through the season, and that's the season written off with the best squad that we have. As Paul says, keep smashing the like button, guys, if you have not already. Let's go for 400 likes on today's live stream, so it doesn't cost anything to hit that like button. So please do. When we can't get top 4, then he will be sacked, and that is the problem with Manchester United. That is the problem with the board. They only want to sack Ole when top 4 is mathematically impossible, which highlights the disgrace that this club is in as well. But I do want to get straight to the news and all of that. I will talk about how Ole could line up tomorrow, what's the rumoured team sheet, the league team sheet, and all of that. But I do want to first of all get into some of the news reports that's come out surrounding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's future. So everyone watching, smash a like on the video and let me report what's been said. So the Manchester Evening News, now the Manchester Evening News is a pretty decent source. I like the Manchester Evening News. Have come out and said last night that Manchester United chiefs have made the decision to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with decisive action likely to be taken as soon as a suitable replacement has lined up. So I kind of talked about this in my last stream because Samuel Lucas talked about something similar about how the Manchester United hierarchy have already decided to sack Ole. They're in talks for Rodgers. They want Rodgers as a replacement, but Ole won't be sacked till they found Rodgers. This report from the Manchester Evening News has said that Manchester United chiefs have made the decision to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with decisive action likely to be taken as soon as a suitable replacement is found. That is the story coming in, guys. And look, what do I think when I read that story? What do I really think when I read that story? I think, okay, United know that Ole should be sacked. United don't want to sack Ole. So they're going to drag out Ole being Manchester United manager as long as possible. I look at that news story and I go, one or two things. I go, either Manchester United are going to see if Ole can get us top 4, and they're going to wait until it's mathematically impossible for us to get top 4 and we're out the Champions League, or wait for a massive disaster to sack Ole, and then they just have to get any manager in, even if it's someone like Rangnick or Zidane, who they don't want. But what Man United are doing is they want to make sure when they sack Ole, they have a yes man there. One of their targets there, already there to replace them. They don't want to do an interim manager. They want to be like, we ain't sacking Ole unless you've got Poch sitting there, unless we've got Brendan Rodgers sitting there. Because what United want is another Wenger, another Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm not saying that Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson are yes-mans, but what Manchester United want, and I think it's very, very obvious this is what Manchester United want, is Manchester United want a manager that can come in, not spend loads and loads of money, but do well. You know, Pochettino at Spurs consistently got top 4, and Levy barely gave him any money to spend. Brendan Rodgers almost got top 4 twice, barely spending any money. The Glazers want a yes man. Like, that's what the Glazers want. They want it, and someone that doesn't need much money to get top 4. Ole's a manager that needs lots of money to get top 4, but he's a yes man. He's going to be like, I'm in this job, I'm in my dream job, I'm never going to get a better job. He's going to be like, cool, cool, cool to everything that the Glazers say. Cool, 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 cool. Now, what Manchester United want is either someone that doesn't need lots of money that will get top 4, or someone that's going to say yes, 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 like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And I get the impression that Manchester United have decided to sack Ole. I get the impression that the board has sat there and gone, oh yeah, shit, he needs to be sacked. He might not get us top 4. He's not a very good manager. We've given him lots of money. But I also get the impression that the board have probably sat there and gone, well, let's not sack him until we've got a replacement, you know. Oh, but Conte wants us. Yeah, but Conte's going to demand money. He's another Mourinho. Oh, but Ralph Rangnick wants us. Oh, but yeah, he's going to demand power. He's going to expose this club for the shambles that it is. So I reckon Manchester United, the board have sat down there and gone, we'll see if we can get Rodgers. But we obviously, you know, see if we can get Rodgers. Let's see if we can wait till the end of the season. But let's just make some contact with Rodgers. Let's see if, you know, Poch gets sacked. Let's wait until Poch gets sacked to sack Ole. I feel like that is Manchester United's absolute approach to the situation, which is an absolute disgrace because he should have been sacked after the 5-0 Liverpool and we should have got Conte in. Conte's available. Doesn't matter if Conte's not a long-term manager. That squad, Antonio Conte, will deliver you a trophy. But no, he should have been sacked after 5-0 Liverpool. He wasn't. He should have been sacked after 2-0 Manchester City. He wasn't. He should be sacked very, very soon, but we don't know when he's going to get sacked. But apparently the board have decided that he should be sacked. And I just think that's an absolute disgrace. And I just think our club is run horrific. I think how this club is run is an absolute embarrassment. And I think the quicker the Glazers are out of the club, the better it gets. Honestly, I would stick with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as our manager for another 3 years if it meant the Glazers were gone by the end of the year. Because at the end of the day, whether you're Ole in, you're Ole out, the biggest problem at Manchester United, the biggest disgrace at Manchester United is the Glazers. They need to go. If your Glazers out and you agree with me, smash a like on the video. Everyone that's watching that wants the Glazers out of this club, smash a like on this video, because the Glazers, they need to go, guys. They 100,000,000% need to go. We've got lots and lots to get through in today's video. Miguel Delaney's reported that Manchester United are considering making a move for FRENKIE de Jong. There's some Zinedine Zidane and some Mauricio Pochettino news, also some more Brendan Rodgers updates. Manchester United have decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's been crisis talks going on with Ollie Maguire and the club, as well as reports from The Athletic that Donny van de Beek will start tomorrow versus Watford. And what I am going to do, and one of the things I did want to do, is I wanted to get up the elite lineup for the Manchester United versus Watford game. I wanted to get the elite lineup for the Manchester United versus Watford game, with Donny van de Beek reportedly going to start versus Watford. And what's really, really interesting is, and I sort of touched on this at the beginning of the video, is Fred played 90 minutes on Wednesday in South America, has had to get a flight back to England. McTominay was too ill to take part in the international break. So Fred and McTominay shouldn't really be playing tomorrow anyway. And you've also got to remember this. Just because Donny starts doesn't mean that, Ole's going to go Donny and MATIC now. But we've got, in the space of 10, we've got like 4 games in the space of 10 days. We've got Arsenal, Chelsea and Villarreal all in the next week and a half. And Ole's going to want McFred for Arsenal, Chelsea and Villarreal. Watford is the easiest game that we've got in this very tight fixture list. And with Pogba injured, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to have to rotate that squad. With Pogba is injured, and you can't start McTominay and Fred every game for 3 days in a row. You can't. So that means Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to have to drop both McTominay and Fred at one point. And when Pogba injured, that means that Donny van de Beek has to start. Even if Donny van de Beek was playing absolute shite, I would say Donny had to start. I think Delot's got to start one of these games coming up, because I don't think Wan-Bissaka can play anymore. It's one of those situations where actually they have to start. I think Donny will start tomorrow, and I think it'd be an absolute disgrace if he doesn't start, considering the situation that obviously McTominay and Fred have found themselves in, considering McTominay and Fred were involved in the 2-0 disgrace versus Manchester City, involved in the 5-0 disgrace versus Liverpool. They should be dropped anyway for that. But the fact that they are not even fully fit, that Donny and MATIC should be starting, and the fact that we've got a tight fixture list. And I wouldn't be surprised if Donny started tomorrow, because we know it's going to be McFred versus Villarreal, Chelsea and Arsenal. We know it's McFred versus Villarreal, Chelsea and Arsenal. And I could very easily see Donny playing this game, probably getting a man of the match performance versus Watford. I could see United playing really, really well against Watford with Donny and MATIC in a pivot. Donny's man of the match, and I can see McFred starting the next 3 games with Donny not getting a second off the bench. That's what I can honestly see. I want to also see Jadon Sancho play, but Mason Greenwood is on the leaked lineup that I've been given instead of Jadon Sancho. Look, Greenwood's my favourite player, but if Rashford's playing on the left-hand side, for me, Jadon Sancho has to play on the right-hand side because Jadon Sancho will give that cross and that service to Ronaldo, whereas Greenwood likes to cut in and shoot. But let me get the elite lineup for the game tomorrow on my screen. And look, I'm very, very happy with this lineup. My ideal lineup is this lineup, but with obviously Bailly in the defence and Sancho in for Greenwood. But this is the rumoured lineup for tomorrow's match against Watford, and I will 100% take that lineup. I think that is a very good lineup. I think it's a lineup that we'd all like to see. And what I see from this lineup, and one of the things that I really pick out, is we are playing Watford. And although the Manchester United defence is an absolute disgrace this season, I have a really cool statistic to show you. So do stay tuned for that. I've got a statistic up that's going to compare our defence with Varane and without Varane this season. And it's absolutely hilarious how atrocious our defence is without Varane. I will show it up now. But Watford actually have a worse defence than Manchester United this season. Watford are like the only team in the Premier League with pretty much a worse defence than Manchester United this season. And I look at Watford and I go, well, we need to attack Watford, because at the end of the day, when we play McTominay and Fred, it restricts us massively defensively. And the funny thing about playing McTominay and Fred is we've played McTominay and Fred in all our home games in the Premier League this season, but still, we've got the worst home record in the Premier League this season. So we play McTominay and Fred for the defensive protection, but again, we have the worst defensive record in the Premier League, but they're also atrocious at going forward. And I'm thinking, well, if you play a team like Watford, United have actually got to go and attack Watford. We've got to go and attack Watford because they've got a leaky defence. We've got to go and attack Watford because we're Manchester United and they're Watford. If you're a team that's meant to be in a title challenge this season, you should be going to a team that's meant to be avoiding relegation this season and playing on the front foot. Watford's goal this season was to avoid relegation, whereas Manchester United were expected to be in a title challenge this season. So despite form or not, if you look at our team, you look at Watford's team, we should be going into the Watford game. And when we go into the Watford game, we should be thinking about attacking them. Attack, 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 attack. We go into the Watford game, we're going to think about how we're going to get them behind. We're going to score goals. We should be playing on the front foot, playing to dominate. And this lineup is what we're rumoured to be seeing. This is the leaked lineup. And I think this is the lineup we should see. Because why set up with MCFRED defensively against Watford when you've got Villarreal, Arsenal and Chelsea all coming up? And we know that MCFRED will be involved in Villarreal, Arsenal and Chelsea because they're Ollie's favourites, they're defensive negative football. And when Ollie's scared, and Ollie's going to be scared for those next 3 games, he's going to go to his tried and trusted MCFRED. So we know MCFRED are going to play in the next 3 games. And we know that Fred just played 90 minutes on Wednesday. We know that McTominay is ill. It's common sense for Donny and MATIC to start. And if they don't start, it's an absolute disgrace. But I think this will be good. Because although the coaching is awful, and I think even when we see MATIC and Pogba, the midfield is only a little bit better than McFred. I'm not saying that we're going to have Donny and MATIC in and it's going to be all amazing all again because it's clear that there's an issue with the coaching. It's absolutely clear. I mean, the players have complained about the coaching. We will talk about it in a minute. But I think this is the lineup we will see. This is the elite lineup. And I'm glad to see this lineup. Obviously, I want Varane back and I will be talking about Rafael Varane. I will be getting statistic up. But I think this is the lineup that I think a lot of fans would like to see. And I think this is the lineup that we should really be seeing at Manchester United. Is he really officially sat? He's not officially sat. But the Manchester Evening Reviews have reported that Manchester United have decided to sack OLE. It's just a matter of when he gets sacked. It's a matter of when a replacement gets in. When he can't get top 4, he'll be sacked, as Scott says. And if OLE stays till next season, we won't make top 4. And Ronaldo, Donny, Pogba, etc. will be gone. I've touched about this in a couple other videos. But I've said, look, if OLE stays as Manchester United manager, Donny goes, Pogba goes, Matic retires, Cavani retires, Ronaldo leaves because we don't get top 4, Bailly leaves because he's fed up, Telles leaves because he's fed up, Martial leaves because he's fed up, Lingard leaves because he's fed up. We're going to lose 9 players. 9 players, and we're going to be going to rebuild again. And I said this 1,000 billion times on the channel if you watch my channel. The problem with Manchester United is we have a shit squad, and then all of a sudden we build a good squad, and then we go back to having a shit squad. When we have a good squad, we need to be winning the Premier League. We need to be winning the Champions League. We need to be making the most of having a good squad. But we don't. As soon as we start playing well, as soon as we start having a good squad, we start underperforming because either they don't get back to make that good squad amazing squad, or the manager just doesn't get sacked in Ollie's case. And yeah, I agree that OLE needs to be sacked because we're going to keep losing 3Ks. Let's get 300 likes, guys. So keep smashing that like button if you have not already. And if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do go ahead and subscribe down below. I'm going to be keeping you up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, stories, and more on the channel. So if you want to stay up to date with everything Manchester United, make sure you subscribe. I am live at 3 o'clock tomorrow for the Manchester United versus Watford watch along as well. So make sure you subscribe for that. But let me get an interesting statistic on the screen while we're here. Here we go. This is what I saw on Twitter today, and I think this is a really, really interesting stat. And I'm not 100% sure when Varane's back, but I think he's going to be back in about 2 weeks, which means we're probably going to have to play Villarreal, Arsenal, and Chelsea without Rafael Varane in the back, unless OLE rushes him back early. And we know what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's like. He'll rush an injured player back early because his job's on the line, and Varane will get injured again. And the whole reason Varane is injured is because he came back 2 weeks early for the Spurs game because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer absolutely shat himself, and now Varane's out for longer. But look at this. Without Varane in the Premier League, we can see 2.8 goals per game. 2.8 goals per game when we don't have Varane at the back. What an absolute disgrace. That's basically 3 goals a game. This team, our £80 million centre-back, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw is the best left-back in the world, are conceding 3 goals per game, even when De Gea is in the best form of his life. When you can see 3 goals a game, you've got to think, oh, that keeper's shit. Our keeper is actually being world-class right now, and we are conceding nearly 3 goals per game. I look at that and I think, what an absolute disgrace. Seriously, guys, what an absolute disgrace. That's embarrassing. That is embarrassing. That is embarrassing. And you see people going out on social media saying, oh, Varane's a flop or Ben White's better than Varane. I see Arsenal fans on Twitter going, haha, Man United laughed at us for buying Ben White. Look at us and look at Varane. I'm like, Varane ain't been the issue at Man United. Varane has been good. I tell you this now, if Ben White was at Manchester United, he'd make our defence just as shit. At least Varane's having an impact on our defence. But this Manchester United without Varane at the back are conceding 3 goals a game. That is embarrassing. And Harry Maguire has not been dropped for that. And Harry Maguire has the audacity when he scores against Albania to put his fingers in his ear and shut up the Man United critics. Harry Maguire, mate, when Varane's not carrying you, you're conceding 3 goals a game. And it's not like you can blame your keeper because David De Gea has been our best player this season. I mean, the audacity of Harry Maguire to put his fingers in his ear when he's conceding 3 goals a game on average. You know, without Varane, look at our win percentage, 25%. What is that? We're becoming so reliant on our best centre-back because our defence is atrocious, and it's not on the individuals. I believe that Maguire's a decent defender. I believe Luke Shaw's a decent defender. We know Wan-Bissaka's a decent defender. But it's definitely to do with the coaches at Manchester United because our defence ain't great. We know our defence isn't the best in the world. But for our defence to be conceding that many goals per game and be that absolutely atrocious, when we're playing a back five, when we have the protection of MCFRED. I mean, MCFRED are literally, we're playing a back five on MCFRED and we're still conceding goals. I mean, that's the embarrassing thing. That's the really embarrassing thing. About 5 with McFred, we're still conceding goal after goal after goal. Like, this is what I don't get. And the defence is an absolute disgrace. And, you know, if we were playing attacking football and we're scoring 5 goals a game but conceding 3 goals a game and we're winning every game 5-3, I could not give an absolute fuck about the defence. But the fact that we're playing defensive, negative, boring football and still conceding so many goals a game is a disgrace. Thumb says that the English media is a disgrace. Maya and Shaw have been absolutely awful, but the media blame it on De Gea. You know what? You're absolutely right. I saw an article today, I think it was by Samuel Luckhurst, saying that he thinks David De Gea is not good enough for Manchester United. You know, I've seen articles from English journalists talking about David De Gea this season and saying David De Gea has conceded this many goals. David De Gea is, hasn't got this many clean sheets. Oh my God, do you not watch Manchester United play? De Gea has been our best player this season. The English media bias is an absolute joke. It's comedic. It makes me laugh that some of the journalists are saying that going on De Gea. I mean, it's Maguire, it's Shaw. I mean, there's a statistic that 70% of our goals come down the left-hand side. 70% of the goals we conceded this season have come down the left-hand side, come down Luke Shaw and Maguire's side. Yet, Wan-Bissaka's the problem. Wan-Bissaka's English, but he hasn't played for England. Wan-Bissaka's the problem. Varane's a flop. De Gea's the problem. No, Maguire and Shaw are the problem at Manchester United. And I sometimes laugh. I absolutely watch that and sometimes I laugh. Not David De Gea. Ronaldo and De Gea are up there for being our best player this season. Harry Maguire's a flop, not even worth 30 mil. If Maguire was a £40 million signing, fine, but he's an £80 million signing. He's meant to be our captain. He scores a goal against Albania and he puts his bloody fingers in his ear. I mean, I was just embarrassed as a Manchester United fan to watch that. I was like, you're our captain. Everyone's laughing at us. We are the new Banter FC. Arsenal are above us in the league. We are literally the new Banter FC right now. And we're meant to be in a title race this season. Our captain scores against Albania and puts his freaking fingers in his ear. You're meant to be our captain. You're meant to be able to take criticism. Without Varane at the back, you're conceding nearly 3 goals a game, yet you think you have the audacity to put your fingers in the ear because you scored against Albania. Phil Jones scored against Tranmere Rovers and you don't see him putting his fingers in the ear, do you? Because Phil Jones knows he hasn't played well. And I just looked at that and I thought, I like Maguire. I think Maguire's a good centre-back. He's just not in good form. I know Maguire because we saw at the end of last season when he's in form, he's a good centre-back, but he's not in form. And if you're not in form, you need to admit you're not playing well. Jesse Lingard was an absolute disgrace for a year. He was out of form. He was atrocious. He had a lot of things going off the pitch, which I think impacted it. He went to West Ham and he played brilliantly. He's played brilliant apart from one game. Every time he's had a chance this season, comes off the bench, goal assist. Jesse Lingard weren't putting his fingers in his ear when he scored a goal after playing bad. He played really, really well, and he's not been given a chance. And I do want to talk about Jesse Lingard. He reposted a West Ham Instagram post on his story and all of that. If that was Paul Pogba, everyone would be saying Paul Pogba's a disgrace, blah, blah, blah. I'm with Jesse Lingard. I actually feel really, really sorry for Jesse Lingard. I said in the summer we should sell Jesse Lingard, get 15, 20 million for him, we'll let him go. I said we should sell Jesse Lingard because I think with Sancho coming in, with the squad depth we do, I don't think there's room for Jesse Lingard. And I always said that I believe Manchester United should sell Jesse Lingard. I said I like Lingard. I would sell Dan James over Jesse Lingard. I think Lingard should be playing over Dan James. I think he's a good player. He's proved himself at West Ham. But I can't see Lingard getting regular game time at Man United. And I was right. Let me just take a quick drink. My Lingard stayed at Manchester United. And we were all like, why is Lingard staying? We were all shocked that Lingard stayed. We're like, you were brilliant at West Ham. You've just got back in the England squad and you're going to stay at Manchester United and be a bench player. The reason Lingard stayed is because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer lied to him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said to Jesse Lingard, "You're involved in my plans, stay, I'm going to pay you." Lingard went, well, as much as he loved West Ham, as much as he was brilliant at West Ham, Lingard's a United fan. Lingard's dream is to play regularly for Man United. Like, we're the club Lingard supports. He wants to be a United player, and he's like, great, I've got my career back on track. I was brilliant at West Ham. He's going to play me a little more. He comes off the bench, gets a goal, comes off the bench again, gets an assist, makes an impact off the bench. Has been a lot better than some of our players, and he can't get a look in. Jesse Lingard cannot get a look in. And I feel really, really sorry for Jesse Lingard because, yes, I was one of those that believed we should have sold Jesse Lingard. But looking at how disgraceful we've been and looking at actually Lingard's been pretty decent for us, how is he not even getting off the bench? How is he not even getting off the bench? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has done what he did with Donny van de Beek to Jesse Lingard. He told them to stay and he promised them he was going to play them. And he's absolutely lied to their face. So Jesse Lingard and Donny van de Beek, I want you to stay at Manchester United because you're good players. And I know if you have the game time, you're going to have a positive impact on our squad. And I know that you're good enough to play for Manchester United. You know, I think Jesse Lingard, because of the squad depth we have, is good enough to be a bench player for Manchester United and should be getting more minutes than he does. But I know with Jesse Lingard and Donny van de Beek, they're very, very good players. And they should be playing more minutes for Manchester United. And I don't want them to leave. I do not want Jesse to leave. I do not want Donny to leave because they're good players. And I think we'll miss them next season if they leave. But I'm all for Jesse Lingard and Donny van de Beek leaving because I feel sorry for them. Because they've been lied to by our manager. They've played well when they've been given a very little chance. They've had very little chance. They've played well. The players who are currently playing week in, week out are playing absolutely disgraceful and embarrassing themselves and still start with these two guys sitting on the bench, told they can't leave. They were this close to leaving, told they can't leave by the manager, told they're part of the plans, and they have to sit on the bench and watch shit performance after shit performance after shit performance from the same starting 11 week in, week out, knowing that when they get 5 minutes off the bench, they score a goal, assist a goal, but they still know they're not going to start the next game. And that's why I feel incredibly sorry for Jesse Lingard. And I say I love Lingard. I want him back in the England squad. I want him happy. Like, if you're a Man United fan, you know, you just want to see Jesse Lingard happy, don't you? He's one of those players that you just want to see happy because... And I want him to go to West Ham in January. I don't care if we get nothing for Lingard. I don't care if he goes on for a free. I think it's terrible business by Manchester United. We're meant to be a business club. We could have sold Lingard for 15, 20 million. We kept him, didn't play him. We're going to lose him on a free. Exactly what we're doing with Paul Pogba. But I hope Lingard leaves on a free. And I hope he goes to West Ham. And I hope he has a really, really good career. Because I think, again, he's been sold a promise and he's not playing. And he should be playing more. And I did want to touch upon that with Jesse Lingard as well. I did want to throw that on. Big up everyone watching right now. Make sure you smash a like on the video. We're going for 300 likes. If everybody watching hits that like button, let's see if we can get 300 likes. We've got over 250 people watching and it costs nothing to hit that like button, so please do. And if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football for daily Manchester United live streams on the channel. I'm going to be live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Watford watch along, by the way, guys. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe because I'm live at 3 o'clock tomorrow for a Man United versus Watford watch along, as well as a match reaction after the game. The Alice Talks Football channel keeps you up to date with all the latest Manchester United news updates and more. There's reports that this could be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's last game for Manchester United. There's reports that Manchester United have decided to sack Ole and are looking for a replacement. And I solely believe that unless Ole turns it around and goes on a run, and I can't see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going on a good run because of how dense the fixture list is, because Varane's injured, Pogba's injured, because he's playing the same old players, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked by Christmas. And if you want to stay up to date on all the latest regarding Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his future, make sure you subscribe down below. Donny van de Beek is set to start tomorrow for Manchester United, guys. It's going to be really interesting if we see that. If I do my watch along tomorrow, I'm going to be live tomorrow just before the Manchester United game doing a watch along. And if I see McTominay and Fred in that starting 11, I'm going to lose it on my watch along tomorrow. I'm absolutely going to lose it because, as I said earlier, Donny needs to start tomorrow. Donny 1,000,000% needs to start tomorrow. Thumb says Ole at the moment is a dead man walking. He is a finished manager, absolutely clinging on to his job. No other manager would get away with. You're absolutely right. I like Ole, he's a nice guy, but Van Gaal and Mourinho got sacked for less. Ole right now other clubs are laughing at us for not sacking Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know. Liverpool, Manchester City, they think Ole's at the will at their games. They're absolutely laughing at Manchester United. We're absolutely embarrassing ourselves. I don't think the board realise that everyone's laughing at us. The board care what people think about them, believe it or not. They do. And probably one of the reasons the board don't want to sack Ole is because Woodward doesn't want to have another failed manager in his conference. But what the Woodward doesn't realise is, by keeping Ole, everyone's laughing at us. If the board went and sacked Ole, everyone would be saying the board's doing the right thing. It's an absolute disgrace how atrocious this club is run. It is an absolute disgrace. Lingard just should have went is the issue. I can't say the current squad he would be playing much more for his career. I think Lingard should have gone. Like, I couldn't see Lingard getting game time. And I was shocked in the summer that Lingard stayed at Manchester United because I said I can't see Lingard getting game time in the squad. But the fact that OLE told Lingard he was going to play, Lingard's actually been all right when he's been given a chance off the bench. Yet Daniel James has been starting games and Lingard hasn't in the Premier League. It's an absolute disgrace. You know, one of the things that keeps coming up is we sold Daniel James in the summer, yet he started a Premier League game. Donny van de Beek, Jesse Lingard are yet to start a Premier League game, yet OLE started Daniel James and sold him in the summer. Like, Daniel James wasn't part of OLE's plans, but he started him in the Premier League, but won't dare start Lingard and Donny van de Beek. And anyone that watches football knows that Lingard and Donny van de Beek are much better football than Daniel James. How can Daniel James seriously be getting more game time for Manchester United this season than Jesse Lingard and Donny van de Beek when we sold him in the bloody summer? Like, that's disgrace in itself because it's Favourites FC. United are Favourites FC. Our manager, unfortunately, prioritises his favourites. If you're one of OLE's favourites, you get game time. And that's why it doesn't matter how atrocious Harry Maguire is. It doesn't matter how atrocious McTominay and Fred are. And because they're OLE's favourites, unfortunately, they're going to start week in, week out for Manchester United. However, because of the dense fixture list coming up, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually has to drop McFred for at least one of the 4 games coming up. And with Paul Pogba injured, there actually has to be a game where he's going to play Matic and Donny. With Watford, Villarreal, Chelsea and Arsenal all in the next week and a half, the easiest is Watford. So he's going to play Donny and Matic maybe tomorrow versus Watford according to the elite lineup. But we'll see McFred every other game and we'll see a disgraceful performance until he's sacked. But I believe he will be sacked by Christmas. And the Manchester Evening News report that they have decided to sack Ole. The only question is, how bad does it have to get before they finally sack him? Because apparently now they want to sack him. They've decided to sack him. They're waiting for the right time to sack him. What? Waiting for the right time to sack him? The fucking international break's just gone. You had 2 weeks to sack him and get a replacement. What is this story that we decided to sack Ole and we're waiting for the right time to sack him when we had the bloody international break? Absolute disgrace. I go, well, cool. If it's true from the Manchester Evening News that the board have made a decision they're going to sack Ole, they're just waiting for a good replacement. Well, go and get a good replacement and go sack him now. Because we're just going to have another few shocking performances and you're going to have to sack him anyway. So you might as well get your replacement in now because he ain't going to be here by Christmas because he ain't going to turn it around. And again, that's how I feel about the situation. Guys, smash a like on the video. If you are Glazers out, hit that like button. If you want the Glazers and Woodward and the board out of our club, smash a like on the video because I've got to do. Like, honestly, the board and the Glazers, they need to go before Ole for me. An absolute disgrace. And please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks if you're watching right now and you're new to the channel because I will be live tomorrow for the Manchester United versus Watford watch along, and then I will be doing a live match reaction right after the kickoff for Manchester United versus Watford. And to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, content, updates and more, do make sure you subscribe to the channel, guys, as very much appreciated. I've got a couple things to talk about, then I'll get into a few more live chats and then a bit more news as well. But Miguel Delaney has said, I don't know if I said his name right, said that Manchester United are considering a move for Frenkie de Jong in the summer, and that move apparently is gathering momentum. So this could be a PR spin. It's United, it's a shit show. But let's think about this. Paul Pogba's leaving in the summer, Donny's likely to leave, and Matic is going to retire. So Manchester United in the summer need to get 2 midfielders in. We need to get CDM in, and we need to get a good box-to-box in. Now, I'm hoping Ole's sat before Christmas, Donny stays, so we only need to look at getting de Jong to replace Pogba and a CDM in. Do you know what I mean? But we're going to lose at least 2 midfielders in the summer. It's pretty clear that Matic and Pogba are going, and if Ole's not sat, Donny will go. So the way I look at it right now is I'm happy if Manchester United sack Ole, get a CDM and get de Jong in to replace Paul Pogba. I'm very happy with that. Because one midfield I'd absolutely love to see is Frenkie de Jong and Donny van de Beek in the midfield. Imagine that. If Ole's manager and we get Frenkie de Jong and Donny van de Beek will be on the bench and McFred will start in midfield, which would be absolutely embarrassing. But imagine this. Ole's sacked. A good manager comes in. Okay, we lose Paul Pogba. Why? We all know he's going. Doesn't matter. Frenkie de Jong replaces Paul Pogba. We get a CDM as well to replace Matic. Donny, CDM, Frenkie de Jong in the midfield. Get Ten Hag, enough said. Beautiful football. Would love to see it. Now, I don't know. Obviously, you know, the Frenkie de Jong to Manchester United story about coming next summer. It's early days. It could be a PR spin. It's not come from Fabrizio Romano. But we know Paul Pogba's leaving and we know Manchester United will sign a midfielder in the summer. And if that midfielder is Frenkie de Jong, I'd absolutely freaking love it. But unfortunately, I can't quite see us signing Frenkie de Jong. I can, but not right now. Not Not in January, but there are reports of us going for 2 midfielders in the summer because Pogba leaving, potentially Donny leaving and all that. And if you'd like FRENKIE de Jong at Manchester United, smash a like on that video because Lingard's going to go, Donny's probably going to go, Pogba's going to go, Matic is going to retire, Cavani's going to retire. If we don't get top 4, Ronaldo's going to go, Martial's going to go. We're going to have to be getting some summer signings in here. One player I want to talk about is Fred. Fred played 95 minutes against Argentina on Wednesday, so I don't think he's going to start tomorrow. But this is what I've noticed. Fred's been playing really, really well for Brazil. And when we brought Fred, he was playing really, really well for Shakhtar Donetsk in the Champions League. We brought Fred because Fred was a player that lots of people wanted. I'm going to say this now, and I'm going to look an absolute twat saying this, but I think Fred is a good player. He just played wrong. I think that Fred is, he's really good for whenever Fred's in the midfield for any other club at Manchester United, he's good. And maybe he's not up to the pace of the Premier League. Maybe he just can't do it in the Premier League. Maybe he's one of those. But I do believe that, everyone's like Fred out, sell Fred. I think Fred is a better footballer than Scott McTominay. I just think because Scott McTominay scores more goals and he's British and he's an academy product and he's younger, people think Fred's worse. I'm going to say this now and I'm going to get shit for it. I think Fred is a better footballer than Scott McTominay. And I'm not saying, I don't think Fred is good enough to start for Manchester United. I don't think Fred is good enough to start for Manchester United week in, week out. But I think with a new manager coming in, Fred would be a good squad player, a good squad depth player. Do you know what I mean? I think if we get a new manager in, I want to see Matic, Donny, Pogba, ideally whoever the new CDM is coming in, if we get FRENKIE de Jong coming in. But I don't mind Fred being there on the bench and just being there as, defensive substitution or being there to play in the Carabao Cup games. Do you know what I mean? I think a good manager, we could see Fred play well because Fred's been a disgrace for Manchester United this season. He's been just as bad as McTominay. But whenever I watch Fred, when he doesn't play for Manchester United, he's good. And is it because he's not good enough for the Premier League or is it to do with OLE? Because it's the same with Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba in the France midfield is world class. Fred in the Brazil midfield is world class. Yet at Manchester United, they've both been absolute disgraces in the midfield. I mean, Paul Pogba had a good start to the season, but he was playing on the left-hand side. How come all our midfielders have been absolute disgrace this season? But they're all right at club level. Is it our coaching? Because someone showed me the system at Manchester United, and although we play a 4-2-3-1, it's a 4-2-4. And for a bit of statistical knowledge on this, guys, we have 4 players, 2 players, 4 players. And Fred and McTominay have to cover a lot of space. And I think that's because we are coached so badly. There's no tactics. I think Ollie's style of football is so atrocious that he gives Fred and McTominay a lot to do. Now, Fred and McTominay have been disgraceful this season and they should be dropped. And I believe that a lot of other players could do a better job than Fred and McTominay. But Matic and Pogba were in the pivot versus Leicester worked much better. And Matic and Fred worked much better. I think Fred and McTominay is our worst duo, but no one has been brilliant in the pivot this season. No one has been that good in the pivot this season for Manchester United, apart from that one game with Donny van der Beek versus West Ham. Donny and Matic versus West Ham, when we played a bit of a 4-3-3. And I think this is something to do with the 4-2-3-1 system, because I think if we had Brendan Rodgers in and he played a 4-2-3-1, I think it would be tactically set up so different to how OLE sets up 4-2-3-1. And I think even if he did play McFred, they would play much better, because I just look at how much space McFred have to occupy and I go, well, no wonder McFred are atrocious. I don't think they're good players anyway, but no, this explains why they're so bad, because OLE is actually giving them so much to do. It's a bit like, all right there, OLE. Hold on there. It said that Donny wants to leave in January, but if OLE gets sacked, he could change his mind. Absolutely. Donny will. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer started Donny in 6 of the next 8 games, I'm sure Donny would stay. Donny likes Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano said this. He said Donny likes Manchester United. He likes the fans, and I think Donny loves it. I think Donny does like Manchester United. I mean, us as fans, I think everyone's been good to Donny. I think although the manager's been atrocious to Donny, what I do like is how the fans treat Donny. How, when we were playing awful versus Manchester City, the loudest cheer was for Donny van der Beek coming on. They were chanting for Donny van der Beek. I think Donny van der Beek knows that the fans love him. I think Donny van der Beek knows that the fans think he's been treated unfairly. I think Donny van der Beek gets on with the squad because we hear stories. I mean, Luke Shaw came out and said that Donny should be playing more. A lot of the players at Manchester United have come out and said, we think Donny should be playing more. The players love Donny. The fans love Donny. The manager doesn't like Donny. If we get a new manager in, I'm sure Donny will stay. I think if Ollie started playing Donny, I'm sure Donny will stay, because I'm sure Donny's happy at Manchester United. He's just not happy with his game time, and he's not in the Dutch squad. They've qualified for the World Cup. Donny van der Beek's priority is making sure he's in that Dutch squad for the World Cup. And he knows he's only getting that Dutch squad if he gets game time. And although Donny, I think, likes Manchester United, I guarantee you, if he ain't getting game time, he's gone. And I think, right now, if Donny van der Beek does start versus Watford and has a good game, I know that McFred's going to start the next game. Well, I know as long as Ollie starts, McFred is going to get sacked. And I think it's a win-win for Donny. I think so. In a weird way, I think right now Donny's in a win-win situation. And hear me out. Because if McTominay and Fred start, and they keep starting, Ollie's going to get sacked, okay? The only way Ollie can save his job is literally by playing Donny and MATIC in the pivot. It's the only way he can save his job because he's tried McFred all season. It's not worked. Like, you know, he's rotated the attackers. He's dropped Sancho. He's dropped Ronaldo. He's had Rashford come in. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's rotated the defence. He's rotated the attack. But the one place he hasn't rotated is the midfield. And we've been crap all season, and he's rotated the defence, he's rotated the attack. The one position he hasn't rotated is the midfield, and nothing's changed. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to rotate the midfield. That's his last option left. So he either starts playing Donny, and he might be able to go on a run, or he starts playing McFred and he gets sacked. Because I've come to the conclusion, if he keeps playing McFred, he's going to get sacked anyway. So in a weird way, I actually believe that Donny could be in a win-win situation at Manchester United in a really weird way, if you guys get me. I really do. Alice and Ronaldo up front for United. Alice in a double pivot, actually. Any top manager would finish above us with a smaller club because we are not run by proper football people. We can have all the money in the world. It won't help. I agree. You know, it's pretty obvious that the people that run Manchester United aren't proper football people because, one, if our owners and our board knew anything about football, one, we'd have a CDM in, and two, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have been sacked maybe after Leicester, but most definitely after Liverpool. So, yeah, it does prove that the people that run our club aren't football people. And is Lingard good enough? Lingard's a good player and good enough to be a bench player, but I think because I believe Sancho is a better player than Lingard and there's Bruno, I think Lingard should leave, but I think Lingard should be playing more minutes than he is playing. I think with how bad our squad is, I think that Lingard should be playing a lot more, by the way, guys. A lot more. Guys, smash a like on the video if you have not already. We've got over 300 people watching, so let's go for 300 likes. And please do subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, because I'm live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Watford watch-along. So make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned for the United versus Watford watch-along, as well as a live match reaction straight after full time. So I'll be doing a match reaction to Man United versus Watford and a watch-along. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Daniel Shen says, United DNA, play attacking soccer. Ollie instruct Man United to defend with 10 men versus Man City is United DNA. Exactly. Apparently, one of the reasons we didn't get Conte in is because we feel like he's not going to install the United philosophy of playing youth, playing attacking football. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ain't playing any of the youth. He's not playing anyone other than the same old players that are playing crap. And he's playing negative football. We parked the bus at home to Manchester City. I said this before. Even when we were the best team in the world and Manchester City were a team that were going to get relegated every season, Manchester City used to come to Old Trafford and put up a fight. Manchester City at the Etihad never parked the bus once against Manchester United and played that negative, despite us being brilliant and them being crap, because they knew it was a derby and they're always up for it and they're always up to give us a game. United are meant to be in a title race with City, and you could arguably say we might have actually a better squad than City, but we're at home to City and we've gone and parked the bus and shut up ship. Never have City done that to us. In all the years that we were levels ahead of City, I can't remember them ever being that defensive against us. I mean, I thought that was a sackable defence in itself. We had more shots against David De Gea than we did against Edison. I mean, what an absolute disgrace. What an absolute disgrace. I think Ollie will do better somewhere else. The board are holding him back like they have a previous managers by setting him up for failure. Yes, but the one thing I think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is, yes, he didn't get a CDM, and it was very, very clear that Manchester United needed a CDM, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has a squad that should be nailed on top four. We're not in the top four right now. This squad should be nailed on top four. This squad should be in a title challenge, but at least nailed on top four. You know, we shouldn't even be in a top four battle. Maybe we're not in the title race, but this squad shouldn't even be in a top four battle. Our squad is levels ahead of Arsenal. Our squad is absolute levels ahead of Spurs, levels ahead of West Ham. But why are they ahead of us? Manager needs to be sacked. Jose didn't get backed. Jose underperformed, but he didn't get backed. We got Delot, Fred, and Lee Grant. I mean, Delot's useless. I like Delot, but he's not done anything, has he? Lee Grant's useless, and Fred was crap in his first season. What do you expect Jose to do? All he got Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane. That's the best transfer window I've seen us have in my lifetime, and he's got worse. That's why I think Ollie should be sacked. FRENKIE must not join Man United. They're in the mud. Barca seem to be climbing. Barca are in more mud than United. United have a good squad, we just need to change a manager. Barca are fucked. I love De Jong at Manchester United. It's obviously come up from Miguel Delaney about United getting De Jong in summer. As I said earlier, Paul Pogba's leaving. I think we'll get two midfielders in. I'd like De Jong. We can attract Varane. We can attract Ronaldo. I'm sure we can attack De Jong. But if we don't get top four, De Jong ain't coming. But I'd love De Jong at Manchester United, but we'll have to wait and see with that. And it's high time for Ole to leave Man U. And Andrew says, I don't care who the manager is. I don't see Frankie de Jong leaving anytime soon. They just brought back a club legend as manager who won't sanction that. Yeah, but I think if Barcelona have a bad season, de Jong could maybe come in the summer. But I do think it's PR. Let's link Manchester United to de Jong so they forget about the fact that they're playing shit right now. You know, one thing about Manchester United is when we're playing awful, when we're playing crap, they're like, let's go leak some stories. And our board, our owner, they're like, let's go leak some stories. So yeah. Fred is better than Scott skill-wise, but some of his decisions are careless. It's not all down to coaching, says Andrew, and that's a very good point there from Andrew. And Donny will stay. Seems like he's a simple guy, easily manipulated by. Trust me, guys. I think Donny got manipulated by Ole in the summer. Donny believed Donny that he was going to play in the summer, and we all believed that Donny was going to play. I believed that Donny was going to have a lot more. I thought, you know what, Donny's bulked up. He's been great in pre-season. I believed that Donny was going to get a lot more game time this season. I said in one of my live streams, I said, now we've bought Varane, our defence don't need that MUFC protection. I think Donny will play a lot more. I was wrong. He's barely played. Donny bulked up. He trained with Ole all summer. We got Varane, and so we don't need that MUFC protection. Even if MUFC offer protection, they don't offer protection. MUFC is as useful as a condom with a hole in, literally, when it comes to defensive protection. So we all thought Donny was going to play, and he didn't play, and he's not playing, and Donny's been lied to. But I don't think Donny's stupid now. Donny knows if Ole says, "Oh, don't leave, I'm going to play you in January," Donny's going to be like, "Fuck you! You said that in summer. You didn't play me. You played McFred. Look how bad we were. Liverpool, Spurs." Look at all these games that McFred played and they're bad, and you're not playing me. Donny will stick his finger up at Ole, I think, if he says, "Oh, I'm going to play you now." I think he would. All the Ole outs are plastic summers. Never doubt Man UFC. It's probably Ed Woodward in disguise. And let's get up to 300 likes, guys. So keep smashing that like button. Yeah, everybody that's watching, please do smash a like on the video. Let's see if we can get 300 likes by the end of the live stream. And as I said before, it costs nothing to hit that like button, so it'd be very much appreciated if you do. And if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football for daily Manchester United content on the channel. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, updates, and more, make sure you subscribe because I go live every evening talking about United topics, news, and more. I'm going to be live tomorrow for the Manchester United versus Watford watch-along, as well as going live right after full-time for a Manchester United versus Watford and match reaction. So for match previews, match reactions, watch-alongs, and lots of other content on the channel, do subscribe because I think, will it be Ole's last game versus Watford? We'll have to wait and see. I think they're going to give him one more chance. But what I'm saying is I just can't see Ole being here by Christmas, and I think there will be updates on managers. And if you want to stay up to date with what's the latest on Zidane, Brendan Rodgers and all that, do make sure you cheekily subscribe to the channel and all of that. Liam says he's an Everton fan and he can't believe what's going on at Manchester United. I don't think one team are actually scared of United anymore. I honestly think Watford are going to beat United. Look, I wouldn't even be shocked if Watford beat us because I'm not preparing myself for United to win. I think if I see a lineup with Donny and MATIC in, and I think we will win. But if we see a lineup with McFred in, I would expect Watford to win because that's how bad we are. And the sad thing is Everton came to Old Trafford without Dominic Calvert-Lewin, without Richarlison. 9 times out of 10, you'd be putting your money on Man United to win. And Everton completely outplayed us and actually could have beaten us. And they were missing 2 of their best players. Villarreal come to Old Trafford, absolutely dominate us. Aston Villa come to Old Trafford, absolutely dominate us. Everton come to Old Trafford about 2 of their best attackers and absolutely dominate us. Teams are coming to Old Trafford and playing us off the park. Actually playing us off the park, and we're playing disgraceful football. We're not only losing at Old Trafford, but we're playing disgraceful football. We're being played off the park. It's not like we lose and we're unlucky. I think when we lost to West Ham in the Carabao Cup, I sat there and went, you know what, we played all right, we're unlucky. No, we're not even unlucky. Teams are generally playing Manchester United off the park. It's an absolute disgrace. It's literally an absolute disgrace what's going on at our club. I sit there and I think, I'm embarrassed by these performances. I mean, are you not embarrassed? I want to look at Woodward. I want to look at Arnold. I want to look at the Glazers and go, are you not embarrassed by that? You're not embarrassed by that. Honestly. Ivar says, what baffles me is that the Glazers want to make more money than United need to be more successful on the pitch. You bring in a world-class manager, you win things, the share price will go up. That's the thing. The Glazers don't think like that. The Glazers are meant to be good businessmen. The Glazers are meant to be efficient. If you win the Premier League, if you win the Champions League, fucking hell, Glazers, your stocks are going to go up like that. Actually, by keeping Ole, you're more likely to lose money. This is where the Glazers' stupidity comes in because they're all about, let's see how much money we get. But the funny thing is, if Manchester United don't finish in the top 4, they have to sack Ole anyway because we don't finish in the top 4, and they're going to lose double the amount of money. If you sack Ole and you win the Champions League, you profit from sacking Ole because you win the Champions League, you get all that money, you get that share price go up. If you keep Ole and don't get the top 4, you lose money. So by not sacking Ole, the Glazers are actually losing money. But they don't know that. They don't know that because they just don't know football. And it makes me laugh. Only 60 likes needed for 300 likes, guys. So do smash a like on the video. Let's go for 300 likes. And if Man U don't finish top 4, do you think Ronnie will leave? Potentially, yeah. I think, look, he's at the end of his career. He wants to be competing at the highest level for as long as possible. Ronaldo's not happy at Manchester United. A report from Miguel Delaney came out today. And this is what he quoted. He said that apparently Cristiano Ronaldo has been complaining to former Manchester United teammates about how things are going under Solskjaer and naturally comparing them to the good old days. Some sources put it bluntly, as Ronaldo is pissed off. Apparently Ronaldo is telling his old United teammates, this is what's going on now, like what under Solskjaer is going on, and comparing it to what actually happened. He goes, you know, it used to be like that, it's now like this. Apparently Ronaldo's pissed off with Solskjaer. He's pissed off of how the club standards have fallen. He can't believe, he's in shock about how bad it is, and he's complaining to, you know, old players. That's the reports coming out. You know, it's pretty obvious that Ronaldo's not happy because, you know, look at the football playing. It's an absolute disgrace. And he's going off complaining to ex-teammates. I don't know how true that is and all of that. But would I be shocked? No, because Ronaldo was at Manchester United on a Fergie when everything was perfect, when everything was bright, when everything was brilliant. He's come back. He's seen how bad we are and he's gone, wait, they still haven't sacked this manager? He's probably baffled by how bad this club has run because the Glazers have been atrocious for a while, but because we had someone as good as Fergie to cover it up, it didn't really matter how bad the Glazers was because, you know, Fergie was a top manager. He'd cover it up, bish, bash, bosh. Brilliant. You know, he's gone now. And since Fergie's gone, since Gill's gone, disgrace. Standards plummeted. New Arsenal plummeted. Get top 4 and it's brilliant. You know, we're United. We've got to be winning Premier Leagues. We've got to be winning Champions Leagues. I mean, it's a disgrace, this club. This club is an absolute disgrace from time to time. Absolute disgrace. Solskjaer knows his time is up and he'll have to be sacked by the end of the year, if not the next 7 days. Look, I can't see Ole being Manchester United manager by 2022 unless he goes on a good run. And I think he's not going to go on a good run unless he drops McFred. And I can't see Ole dropping McFred because he loves them. So I think Ole will be gone. I generally believe that Ole won't be Manchester United manager by the end of the season, guys. I don't. I can't see him turning it around. The only way Ole can turn it around is if he sacks his coaches, which he won't because they're his friends. We're Friends FC. He starts playing good football. You know, when Ole was interim manager, he played good football. He starts playing good, brave football and drops his favourites. Ole's not playing good football. His coaches are his friends, and he's not a ruthless manager. We know that. And he won't drop his favourites because even if you lose 5-0 to Liverpool, 10 of those players that started versus Liverpool start again at home in our next important game, Manchester City. How can you employ a manager that loses 5-0 to the arch rivals at home and 10 of those 11 players start our next home game against Manchester City? How is this manager still in the job, guys? Again, disgraceful. That you know, a manager like that shouldn't be winning Manchester United. Your mentality, and Owen Hargreaves said that. He said if Fred dropped that performance under Sir Alex Ferguson, he wouldn't be getting on the pitch for at least a month. I'm not only going to Solskjaer. If you're Fred, if you're McTominay, if you're Luke Shaw, you're Harry Maguire, you can get sent off. You can score 5 own goals, but you'll start the next game if you're available, even if you're not fully fit. You know, Eric Bailly was fully fit for the Leicester game. Maguire was 2 weeks off being fully fit, and he started versus Leicester. And, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being reluctant to start Eric Bailly and rather playing an injured Harry Maguire cost him. Because Maguire was a disgrace versus Leicester, the worst player on the pitch, and we conceded 4 goals. If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had put his faith in someone else and not his favourites, I don't think we'd have lost 4-2 to Leicester. We weren't great versus Leicester, but Maguire was at fault for 3 of those 4 goals. I don't think we'd have lost 4-2 versus Leicester if Bailly had played. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't learned from that. He'll play the same injured players, and he's not learned that playing the same injured players, they're not going to get better if they're injured. You know, maybe play someone new, and he still hasn't learned from that. And he's been the manager of this club for 3 years, and he's not learned that he played his best football at Manchester United when he played attacking football. Ole got the job of playing attacking football. Ole stayed in the job through lockdown through playing attacking football. So why is he playing negative football? Why is he playing the same underperforming players? Why is he not going back to what got him the job? The 4-3-3, you know, the attacking football. They're playing the players that weren't McTominay playing MATIC. Why is he not going back to that? Why is he not dropping players in the bad? And for me, it's you know, he's just not going to be manager by the end of the season. I really can't see Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being manager by the end of the season because unless he changes it up, which I don't think he will because he's had so many chances to change up and he hasn't. He's stubborn. We know he's stubborn. He's going to get sacked. And, you know, at the end of the day, I like Ollie and I want him to succeed. Of course, I'd love Ollie to turn it around, play good football, win 10 games in a row, win the league and succeed. But I don't believe he will, and I think it's time he will be sacked, and I think everyone knows that. And I think the problem is, and we know this from the Manchester Evening News, the Manchester United Chiefs have reportedly decided to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, with a decision action likely to be taken as soon as possible once a replacement is lined up. But I don't think Manchester United are taking this situation seriously enough. The Manchester Evening News have reported that apparently the people higher up at Manchester United have decided to sack Ole, but they're only going to sack him when they think there's a suitable replacement lined up. If you're a proper club, go all out. If you really want Brendan Rodgers, you can get him. You Manchester United, he's at Leicester. You Manchester United, he's at Leicester. Just throw some money at him. You can get Brendan Rodgers. But United won't do that because our board, our owners, they don't want to spend money. And although I believe Ole will be sacked, and I think the Manchester Evening News say they will sack Ole once they find a replacement, I believe Manchester United, if they really, really wanted to put some effort in it, they could find a suitable replacement that they wanted. There's a lot of suitable replacements out there, but you need to find a replacement that Manchester United want. Do you know what I mean? And that is the one thing that I look at and I go, bored. You say you want Ollie sacked, but you say you can't find a replacement. There was Conte that was available that wanted the job. There was Ralph Rangnick available that wanted the job. What are you doing? Rangnick's available right now. And apparently, according to Manchester Evening News, we've decided to sack Ollie, but we're not going to sack him until we know there's a replacement. Sack him now, get Rangnick in. You had 2 weeks of the international break to do that. And you didn't do that. 2 weeks of the international break to sack Ollie, bring Rangnick in. But they didn't want to bring Rangnick in. They didn't want to because he's not, he's going to be hard to work with. And that just sums up our club. They only want Ollie as manager because he's easy to work with. The reason Van Gaal and Mourinho got sacked for less than Ollie is because Ollie's easy to work with. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is easy to work with. And the board, they want Pochettino. The board are the type of thing is they're going to keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for as long as possible, hoping that Pochettino becomes available, hoping Brendan Rodgers becomes available. And although the report is that the board have decided to sack Ollie, the question is, will he be sacked after the Watford game or not? And I can't tell you that. I think we could lose 4-0 to Watford and him still be in a job. Because I put money that he was going to be sacked after Liverpool. You don't lose 5-0 at home to your arch rivals and keep your job. I put money on that he'd be sacked after Liverpool. Literally, I didn't actually, but I would have put money on. Do you know what I mean? I literally believed he would and he wasn't. And I think that's the worrying thing. I am going to wrap up the live stream in just a second, by the way, guys. So do make sure you keep hitting that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. I'm going to be live tomorrow for a Manchester United versus Watford watch along. I'm not sure what time the game is tomorrow, guys. Is it 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock? The game tomorrow. I think it's 3 o'clock. But occasionally, yeah, I'm going to be live at 2:45 p.m. tomorrow, by the way, guys, for a Manchester United versus Watford lineup. And one of the things I'm most interested to see tomorrow is, will Donny van de Beek start like the leaks and the rumours are saying? Will he start tomorrow? So I will be live for Manchester United versus Watford tomorrow, by the way, guys. Also, there will be a live match reaction after the match for Manchester United versus Watford. So make sure you subscribe to that. I will be live on Sunday with more news as well. So lots and lots of content coming up on the channel. So if you're not subscribed, do go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers. We're trying to hit 25k by Christmas, which is a bit of an ambitious goal. But if you're watching right now and you are not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. Every subscribe means a lot. It costs nothing to subscribe. We want to hit 25k by Christmas. So that means 1.5k subscribers in the next 6 weeks. So if everybody can subscribe, that would be very much appreciated because there's a lot to come on the channel United-wise. But we've got Watford tomorrow. I am going to wrap up the live stream in just a second. Ollie will smile even if he loses to Watford. We've got a Liverpool fan in there. And as Diego says, set notifications on. Alice, what's your thoughts on KDB and Eddie Howe being tested for COVID? Doesn't really impact me because it doesn't impact United, but I'm glad it's not a United player. And Man United is no plan FC on and off the field, says Ice Cold Martial. And Ollie only want good vibes. What's Ollie's management style? Vibes. McFred and vibes. Even Everton has a better manager than us. They do. Most teams have a better manager than us. They do. And yeah, big up everyone in the live chat. Thanks everyone for all the support and all of that. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like, smash a subscribe. See you next time. Bye. Live tomorrow, 2:45. Watch along.